Awesome. Okay. Alrighty, ready. Just gonna get comfy. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Hey everybody. How you doing, Vector? Hi everybody else. Sorry, just getting all this up and ready again. Okay. All right. So, hey Joe. Okay. So, first things first, if you hear a dog barking, it's just your friendly neighborhood 8 o'clock yipping dog. Don't mind it. It will go away in about 15 minutes. So if you guys are new to this segment of Pixelogic's Twitch channel, what I do, first of all, my name is Ashley, and what I do is I take this sphere that you see right in front of me, and I just kind of like mash it around a whole bunch. So we're gonna basically be taking this and smashing it and just doing a whole bunch of random stuff to it until I see in that weird shape what I think I want to sculpt. So that could be like any kind of a creature, really. And honestly, like if you guys want to sculpt along with me, as always, I encourage you to do so. I like seeing what everybody's doing, and I like to work with people as well. That's half of the reason why I participate in Twitch, is actually anytime that I'm doing work. If I'm not listening to music, I'm hanging out in somebody's stream, just kind of like chilling with somebody else working beside me in a sense. It's a really nice sort of friendly community, I guess you could call it. Yeah, we are a community. We are a community. So if you do wanna sculpt along and you don't have ZBrush, you could always get ZBrush down below for 45 days free, and do exactly what I'm gonna be doing, which is smashing this around. Hey Brosiv. Oh, Sparrow. Sparrow, how you doing? Okay. Everybody ready to start smashing? To start smushing? To start the smush? I'm doing well, yeah. Yeah, I was supposed to stream on my channel yesterday, but the wonderful transit that we have here in Toronto decided to be delayed for hours, so wah 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 wah. All right. So this initial stage is just literally just kind of like, you know, pushing and pulling this kind of like all over the place, and seeing what kind of a thing I could get with all of this. I'm actually seeing sort of like a triceratopsy kind of a thing, so I might do something like that. And it's never really like deliberate. A lot of my strokes I've been told look pretty deliberate, but that just kind of comes with ZBrushing for a long time. It's just kind of like, you know, if you've been painting for a long time, your strokes start to look really deliberate, and you don't ever really look like you're necessarily sketching. You always look like you're drawing after you've been doing it for a very long time. So it's kind of the same sort of situation here, where I'm not really putting any thought into this. And so if you're doing this as well, like, don't really like put a whole bunch of thought into it at this stage. It's a good kind of like exercise to just sort of like unwind from the day and let your creativity flow. If you're in one of those jobs that you're just doing a lot of like copy paste or really medial tasks, this is a really nice way to let your mind get a little bit like exercise in the sense of creativity. Was I stuck going through the 6 with my woes? Oh, Drake, please. Ah, Sparrow, no. Hey Kyle, how's it going? Yes, I was with my woes in the 6. Alright, so another thing too is when you're at this stage, after you've done some like random, a bunch of like random stuff, like I like to kind of just cut it up a whole bunch as well, like add a whole bunch of like random strokes everywhere, and then kind of go from there, because you get like I guess you know, happy accidents can happen. Like here even, I'm really liking what's going on with this. So if you're at this stage sort of a thing, what you're gonna want to do is start looking for shapes. And when you're looking for shapes, make sure to be thinking about breaking them down into primary, secondary, and tertiary details. So all of this, like, you know, random stuff that I've been doing inside of it would be considered a secondary detail, a secondary shape, whereas this entire silhouette, like this big thing right here, would be a shape, and then right here would be a primary shape as well. So you're going to want to think about how those interact with each other and sort of make them work as well. And I'm huge on really pushing designs based on shape and silhouette. Even if you're, you know, going for something that's realistic, you're gonna want to put some sort of like, you know, appealing shape language in there somehow. You know, you don't want to just do like just kind of like work with something and not have any sort of an artistic flair to it, because that's how you, a lot of the time, you can kind of like walk straight into uncanny valley and you can't get out unless you're like, you know, working with scans or something. But hey Link, how's it going? Sparrow, yes, no. Ugh. I was with my woes, yeah. Freaking hell. Ugh. Drake. Everywhere you go in Toronto is just Drake. Like, especially Queen Street, which is like super known, like, you know, tourists always want to go to Queen Street. It's like Drake stuff everywhere. It's Drake Hotel, Drake convenience store, Drake this, Drake that. Just in case you didn't know, Drake was from Toronto. Yeah, exactly, Cody, right? So it has like that sort of like triceratopsy thing going on, which I'm gonna try and like play off of. So I'm thinking maybe give it like a horn. This. Do that. There we go. No idea how successful this horn is going to be, but might as well try. No harm in trying. And that's another thing too, that like if you're sketching a whole bunch with this kind of like in this sort of style, not style, but I guess with this this technique, is to not really be afraid of sorry, I didn't set my stuff up properly. Don't be afraid to start stuff over. Like, don't be afraid to work really rough and kill stuff if you don't like it. It's totally fine. And it's actually important to the creative process as well. I don't know if this is gonna really work. Sparrow, please. Please. Hey, Imagine, how's it going? Who is Drake? Alright, okay. I get you. I get you quick. Hey Virus, welcome! Welcome to Twitch. Welcome to our little creative family we have going on here. Zomax, good to see you. Only start over when it's done and you're satisfied with it. Yes, once you get a full finished product, trash it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's good to keep your work. Even like work from like years past, I like to keep. I don't have everything because there was a point in time that I went through that I kind of like ended up deleting everything because I just thought I was like total utter garbage. But it's actually good to keep all of your sketches and all of your work, even if you think it's garbage, because it's sort of like a jump off point, a thing that you can look at as you're progressing in your art career to further prove to yourself that you are improving. And there's a lot of times that I wish I just like kept a lot of stuff, just so I could kind of have that that confidence in myself, that extra little bit of confidence back when I had deleted all of that kind of thing. Now I have a lot more work that I can use as like benchmarks to judge my progress and stuff like that, but yeah, don't delete your stuff. Keep it. Keep it. And don't ever be embarrassed of like where you started either, because you're all, you know, it's the fact that you're doing it that counts. I used to always be really embarrassed of like everything that I did, but it's just, you know, everybody has to start somewhere, and where I started was a very bad place. I was very, very bad when I started this. So lots of resources for this kind of stuff, and it's really cool that it's all kind of at your fingertips. Don't be afraid to share your stuff. Don't feel bad about your stuff. And keep it. Don't throw it away. Does he play for the Leafs? Quick, please. No, Drake is. You don't know Drake. Drake is a rapper. He comes from Toronto. It's very obvious. If you ever lived in Toronto or you even visited Toronto, you'd be like, oh, I know who Drake is. Hey, Roku. Oh, you're down in Texas. Cool. Yes. Glad you guys get it. I'm glad you guys get it. Have I... Is it... Sorry. Lit. It's cool to look back on years later. Yeah, it is. It really is. Crazy, I would recommend you try ZBrush. There's a link to the 45-day free trial down below if you're interested in trying it. In terms of sculpting, I can't really like compare another program to it. Just I've only had good results from ZBrush, and it is industry standard. So for anybody else who is unsure about it, there is a 45-day free trial, so you can see for yourself. But you could in 45 days. Wait, sorry. In 45 days, you could probably get a entire sculpt done, actually. Hey, Johns. Hold on. 1 second. Just so you guys know, I'm not giving critique while I'm on the Pixelogic channel, just because I don't have time to do that sort of a thing. We're just kind of like, you know, if you have questions about the program and things like that, then feel free, but I'm not going to go like in-depth critique and just kind of do that the whole stream. So keep that in mind. But H-John, it's looking cool. That's looking really cool. What I'd recommend is to possibly, if you don't have the arms, definitely do something like that. And try to work with, like, I think in your case, like, maybe try to work with the poly paint. Sorry. Work with the poly paint off so that you can actually see the forms a little bit more clearly. It's good that you're using a different material from the red wax. Try to use maybe like the basic material to work off of, just so you can understand what the forms are a little bit clearer, a little bit better. But yeah, definitely get the eyes in there, get some teeth. Hey, Squid Tank. Yeah, the trial will get you hooked. It's, yeah. Oh man, Feather Dragons, you guys don't have to be sorry about being late, okay? It's all good. This is here as an exercise. This is here just to come and relax and just enjoy sculpting for sculpting sakes. It's all good if you have your other things. I understand everybody's got their real life priorities. Those damn hoes. Alright, let's do a little bit. Wait. The way the light reacts to them gives the different hints. Yes, it's good to, like, if you get stuck with what you're doing, it's good to kind of like alternate. Good to alternate between the kinds of materials that you're using, because then your eye might start seeing something a little bit different. Oh no, so Max. 10 points deducted from their overall score. Oh no, I didn't know we were keeping score. So basically when I'm doing this kind of stuff, it's very, it's pretty much just, free sculpting. It's very much from my head. So, yes, I do understand a lot of creature anatomy. I look at a lot of, a lot of images throughout the day, every day. But when I'm doing this as like just like a rough sculpt, I actually don't use any sort of a reference. Like right now, like on these streams, the challenge is to just not be using reference and to just let your mind go for it. Um, that usually allows you to kind of just exercise what you already know and let your brain kind of make the connections instead of relying on references to create concepts, which is, it's one way to start things, but it's not, you can't really successfully finish something. You should always have references for final pieces, for example. Like you don't necessarily want to do finished projects without actually referencing and double checking your anatomy and making sure things actually kind of make sense. But for something like this, yeah, I haven't been referencing. But that's what I like. I like to just tell people to be really rough and focus on shapes and forms. Like, what makes a really good character, where are the shapes going, where are the lines going, how is it interacting with everything else. So you're looking for, again, like your primary, your secondary, and your tertiary details and how they kind of mesh together. Right now I'm only working on primary and secondary details. I usually do those two kind of together, and get a silhouette that is appealing, and also you can tell what kind of a character it is. And that's really like the most important part to me at this stage. And if you end up getting like a concept out of this that you really enjoy and you want to continue it, then you could always go back afterwards and fix the anatomy with actual references. But this isn't like, the only way to concept things. I'm just showing people like another way that you can go about it that's very, very freeing and a lot of fun. So I don't like this. Another thing too is to look out for those parallel lines. I hate parallel lines. What I mean by that is, let's say I had like a line running like this, and then I had a line kind of doing something like that. I don't like that sort of a thing. In order to fix that, because your eye gets stuck on it, right? There's no different there. Basically, like swooping lines or lines that are not parallel makes your eye have to switch direction. When it's kind of the same, then your eye gets stuck right here and it becomes sort of like this unwanted focal point in a sense. So if you end up like sweeping that, then it feels a little bit better in terms of like you can continue on the rest of the concept. My cow looks stupid. Thanks, Rec. So much to do when your sculpt looks too alike. Oh, when all of your sculpts look alike. Okay, well, what I would say is to start looking at things that you don't normally look at. Grab reference from something that you're not, normally looking to grab reference from. Like, let's say you're always sculpting skulls, right? Maybe you want to start looking at femurs and start doing that instead. It's like it's a simple sort of thing, is to just kind of like look at something that's really different from what you're typically used to doing and just kind of push yourself into a different kind of zone for sculpting. Because you get, I'm sure you get used to the same shapes and doing the same sort of like design over and over again. I've been there. I still fall into that sometimes. Hey, HP. Don't worry. If you missed the start and you really want to see me rambling, then you can actually catch the VOD on the Pixelogic channel or on their YouTube channel. It'll be up like the VOD will be up directly after the stream ends. Hey, Harmston. Yeah, yeah. So what Rec just said. It's actually good to do realistic studies, um, and then if you're looking to be a stylistic sculptor, I still recommend you doing realistic studies because honestly, everything is based off of realism. Your imagination is based off of realism. Everything is based off of what you see and know, even stylistic stuff. So it's sort of like one of those things where you got to know the rules first to break them. So definitely do realistic based studies. What is silhouette used for? Silhouette is used for understanding the general concept that you have. So when I say silhouette, all right, here, let's put this into like silhouette mode. What you see is okay, well here's like a horn-like shape and here's a crest or whatever. So this is what I mean by the silhouette. When you squint, when you see it in shadow, when it's just kind of a form without in front of a background sort of a thing, what are the shapes that you're looking at, and is it readable? When I say readable, is it you look at it and you can understand it directly when you see it, like immediately when you see it. And a strong silhouette will basically involve all of that. So if you can look at a creature and just like get it immediately, no matter like where it is, then that is a very strong silhouette, or it's a very interesting silhouette where it's making you want to look at it. If it's just sort of like a blob, like if I had I don't know, if I had this, actually that's not bad either, but if there wasn't any sort of like breakup, then you would not have like a very strong silhouette, if that makes a little bit of sense. I hope it makes some sort of sense. Basically, you just want what you're making to be interesting, and